What's going on, everybody, and welcome to my review of Bob Marley, One Love, a film that has intrigued me ever since I started watching the trailers, and it has been advertised plenty, especially because I go to the theater a lot, and it was advertised on so many movies that I watched, and the advertisements has definitely made an impact on me. So it was definitely one that I knew I wanted to watch. I just wanted to check out. Thank you so much, as always, guys, for clicking here. I really do appreciate it. So Bob Marley, One Love essentially tells the story of Bob Marley and the life of his musical career and the ups and downs of his journey. So this is a music biopic film about the life of Bob Marley, and he's not really somebody that I'm a huge fan of, but I've heard a few of his music, and what I heard was pretty good. Yeah, I have nothing against reggae music, which is the type of music that he sang. I don't know the complete history, but from what the movie has told me, it was pretty rough. And I deeply respect the man even more. Of something I know nothing about, I'd rather it be like this, like with something like a film teaching me something. I do like it like that. I like it when it's presented to me like that. Like, I knew nothing about Straight Outta Compton, about NWA, about Ice Cube and Eazy-E and all them until that film came out, and that educated me, and that wanted me to pursue it even more and, you know, just study about them. Same thing with Tupac and All Eyes on Me, Notorious with Notorious B.I.G., and then here recently Elvis. And it's when these movies comes out, it's very interesting because it's a part of our pop culture that we live by day and date, and it's pretty impactful, especially with a film like Bob Marley, One Love. So again, he's not a man that I'm that much of a fan of, but what I heard of him, I deeply respect. He sings about love and he sings about compassion, and that's a rare treat we really get nowadays. So it's really refreshing to see a film like this of an artist that tried to spread positive messages in the world, and that's part of what intrigued me and wanted to go check this thing out. So with that being said, starting off with the positives, I do gotta say the guy that played Bob Marley, he wasn't bad at all. Kingsley Ben-Adir, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. I think he did a really good job. I think he captivated the way Bob Marley was, because I've seen plenty of interviews of the actual man, and the way Kingsley played him off in this film, I thought he did a really good job. He did a really good job to captivate and to really make you believe that he's the actual Bob Marley himself. And just the way he played the character off, the way he played this historical figure off, was pretty convincing. I thought he did a really good job at captivating the magic and essence of who this man was. I thought he captivated the way that Bob Marley himself had sang the songs. Like, it showed a lot of scenes, especially this being a musical biography. It showed plenty of scenes with him being in a concert and just singing the same type of songs that the actual Bob Marley sang. And I thought he played it off pretty well. Just like the dudes that played the NWA from Straight Outta Compton, and the guy that played Tupac in All Eyes on Me. All those guys did really well, as did Kingsley in Bob Marley, One Love, as Bob Marley. And like I said, I think he captured the essence of what Bob Marley actually was, and how this man endured so much tragedy in his life to get where he was at, and all the positive things out of all that tragedy that he was trying to speak. And I really did respect the level of commitment that this guy had committed to this character, to this historic figure. I like the fact that this film really captivated just the essence of how things were back in the 70s with the war and all this other stuff that was going on, especially on the Jamaican side. Now, this is the part of the movie that I wasn't really that well educated in. I didn't know it was that bad, especially in that part. Yeah, I know war has always been around since the dawn of time, unfortunately, but I didn't know it was that bad in that part of the world. I heard about Vietnam, I heard about the World Wars, the Civil War, and all that, but I didn't know about that part on the Jamaican side. I really did enjoy, like, just learning all the different stuff that people has gone through, especially on Bob Marley's side, and all the stuff that he had to endure, especially with his family. I really did enjoy what this movie brought out and what this the film was trying to teach me in that sense. And I really did appreciate that. The film had a really deep meaning, and it was really powerful, and I really appreciated the level of commitment that was brought out by everybody that worked on it. All the filmmakers, all the actors. There was not a single person in this movie that I didn't feel like wasn't trying, because they all were. Kingsley and everybody else, especially the wife of Bob Marley, which I've seen in other movies before, actually, believe it or not. That's the only person in this movie that had played in this movie that I recognize. She was actually in the last James Bond movie, No Time to Die. Moving on from that, she did a really good job. I thought her performance was really good. There was some moments to where they kind of fought in the movie. I won't get into too much details, but it wasn't all rainbows and clouds there, but I really did enjoy those aspects as well. Again, this is a movie that I don't really usually go for, but I like those powerful films that really makes you feel and that really makes you sympathize for a character like this, because you know he was real, and you know since he's not around anymore, you want to find out, like, especially as somebody as popular as Bob Marley, you want to find out everything about their life because it's interesting. They've gone through a lot. They have been through a lot, not only with himself, but with everybody else around him, and especially with all the things that he was trying to do and was trying to say, and all the powerful, positive messages that he was trying to get out. That's always interesting to me. Same thing goes for those other films I mentioned. Even though those are different song groups, still, I enjoy movies like that, especially if they're done right. The only tiny nitpicks, the only negatives I have, which is only two, it's a me thing, is the way the movie starts out is you see him already at success. Without giving away too much details, it starts off in Jamaica, and you get a sense that he's already made it. He's already there. I wish the movie would have took at least 20, 30 more minutes to show more of his background on what happened to him in the past. Now, it spreads out, throughout the movie, like bits and pieces here of him as a child and him as a teenager, which is fine and all. Those are pretty good scenes as well. But I wish it would have elaborated a little bit more, and I felt like that was a missed opportunity. And to me, it kind of made the film seem a little rushed and not as impactful as I wish it would have been. Now, don't get me wrong, the movie was impactful within itself. It still had some powerful moments. The end result, the execution was still powerful enough, but it wasn't quite there for me because I just felt like the movie just didn't really take that much time to focus on his past first. If it had done that, like the first maybe 30, 40 minutes of the movie, then that would have completed me. And again, that's a me thing. I wanted more of that to add on what this movie brought. Again, what this movie is, what it is fine, is good. But I think it would have been more impactful, even more so over the top impactful, if it had just spent a little bit more time with his childhood days and his teenage days, instead of getting those sprinkled in scenes, like 5 minutes here, 3 minutes there. I think it would have been more impactful if they'd have spent a little bit more time on those events on top of what the movie, the end result was. And last but not least, also a me thing, and no offense to anybody, and I know they were trying to get as close to the historical figure and as realistic as possible, and that's all fine. I respect that. When you make a historical film such as this on a character like this, you want to get it as close to the truth, to realistic standpoint as possible. But half of Kingsley's dialogue, I couldn't understand him because he had such a sharp Jamaican accent, and he was so soft-spoken, which, again, I heard that's how the man actually was. Now, I'm not faulting anybody, but I felt like that there should have been, like, at least some subtitles there, because I was trying to follow through with the dialogue so I could keep up with the story. Especially with a movie like this, you want to keep up with the story, which, as by default, you need to keep up with the dialogue. And 70-80% of the time, I couldn't because of that very, very sharp Jamaican accent. I couldn't keep up with it. It's not that it took me out of the movie for a second. It just, I was like, okay, what did he say? Okay, when this thing streams, I need to rewind this back, put the subtitles on, and I'll be right as rain. Because I know I'll be able to do that anyway. But again, this was a theater experience, and I wish they would have had, like, just subtitles just every now and then. Not the whole thing. It's not like they had to, like, make the whole entire movie readable just for his dialogues alone. Like, some of it I actually did understand, but a large portion of it I didn't. And because of that, it did drag it along. Because, again, I was trying to follow the story, and because of his very sharp Jamaican accent dialogue, I couldn't quite follow along 100%, if you get what I'm saying. Despite all that, I really had a good time in this film. I enjoyed this a lot better than Madam Web. It's a much better experience, a much better story. It was much more intriguing. It was fun. It was enticing. And I have to put it on a pedestal. So Bob Marley, One Love, what was your thoughts on this? Have you seen it yet? Are you a fan of this genre? Are you a fan of this type of music? Or are you a fan of him in general? Or are you not? Are you somebody that just kind of wanted more and just didn't really care that much? Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And as always, make sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.